Hello, my name is Daniel Mackey, and I'm conducting research for the Managerial Communication Capstone Project. Today I would like to discuss my research finding centered around implementing technological adaptations to more traditional blue-collar factories. What led me to study the effects of making technological upgrades in factories was personal experience. I first began working at a Mickleberry meat processing plant in 2006. When I arrived there, I noticed a large gap between the new plant compared to my previous place of employment I had been at. Namely, two areas of concern at Mickleberry's infrastructure concerned me compared to where I was at before. The first was a lack of quality inspection technology. Many modern plants had already implemented computer-aided design to assist foremen and others involved in the actual processing of the products. The second area lacking in the plant's technology resources was a lack of communication equipment available to the foreman of the plant, also drivers of the fleet. Specific examples include simple communication tools such as personal communication devices, PDAs, and walkie-talkies. In the trucks, what was missing were navigational systems and also up-to-date refrigeration equipment in the trucks. These problems forced the previous owners to sell because they feared the ability to budget and they lacked the technological know-how to be able to make the decisions to compete in the industry. Under the new ownership of the plant, though, new opportunities for implementing technology began to present themselves. Their technical savvy existed on a larger plane, and the resources which could be allotted were exponentially higher. I've had the opportunity to come on with the new owners to witness the formation of a plan and also the considerations weighed and processed from the new management. The main way I conducted my research was to interview several of the new owners as well as foremen and drivers by way of survey to weigh the areas of most concern as well as some extra wants and needs that would be implemented if they desired, if the budget allowed. I weighed answers as a whole in the interview process because I wanted to perform the questions in a way that would preserve anonymity and provide results as a collective so we could get a general consensus from the company as a whole. Now on with the questions. My questions begin with the owners. The first question I asked is, what were the most pressing concerns when making the initial tour of the plant regarding technology? And the answer that kept coming back was the concerns being a lack of communication equipment for the foreman. They noted the factory is very large and employees had to traverse long distances to convey simple messages while leaving key areas of the floor. They wanted to do away with that. My second question is, what concerns you the most about making technological upgrades in the facility? And their answer was the size and scope of the project is what concerned most of the owners. Although cost is not an issue, time is a factor. There are many IT components that need to be implemented in a timely manner. The areas lacking are rather concerning, and the company was somewhat embarrassed to be behind the competition in such a manner. The final question I asked the owners is what options have been narrowed down and why. And the owners replied that the top priorities pertain to the most time-efficient tools that could be implemented. Some examples mentioned included personal digital assistants, wearable computers, and walkie-talkies. The main idea I received from the owners was that time is more of a concern than money. My questions to the foremen centered around the same subjects. As for concerns, the foremen and drivers were cohesive in whether they would be able to master and adapt to the technology and how long it would take some of them. Some were even worried they wouldn't be able to grasp technology at all if it was too complex. As for the top priorities, both the drivers and the foremen decided that the navigational systems were much needed in the trucks. The second area of concern for the foremen were manual warehouse technology systems. This simple yet effective technology would catalog the location of nuts, bolts, tools, and spare parts. I liken having this type of system to the system that a library uses. For many years, the foreman and the employees had been looking blindly. It'd be like looking for a library book blindly. So that was one of their wishes. After conducting all my interviews and research, I was able to provide management with interviews and my research that meshed the owners and the employees together. With the information, the leadership was able to formulate a solid plan to address the short-term problems in an effective manner. Noting the concerns from floor employees and drivers, they promised to institute a comprehensive training program with pay. Much more assuring was the promise no one would lose their job if struggling with the new technology. With that being said, here are the technological upgrades to be made by the company with potential benefits. The first upgrade made by the company is going to be wearable computers. Wearable computers are small devices that can easily fit the body, giving employees hands-free connectivity at all times. These devices allow for foremen, drivers, and managers to stay connected at all times, not only with the company, but with suppliers and distributors as well. Finally, problems with factory performance and shipping can be monitored and reported at all times. The next area of adaptation the company decided on was to improve logistics. Understanding that freight trucks are crucial, the owners wanted to implement the most current technology. Areas of need to be implemented are navigational tools in the truck for more timely delivery, with the ability for tracking problems and best route reading. The final area of upgrade is quality control technology. To compete in today's meat market, companies need to have quality assurance tools. The modifications made will involve refrigeration of meats in both the factories and the trucks. State-of-the-art sensors will also be able to find defects in the food supply, which is more assurance than the hand and eye process. These are the areas that are most time considered and that will have immediate impact. There are also changes that can be made without an IT team. There are plans for future modifications that will be more time consuming and more costly, but the company is off to a great start. Thank you very much, and that concludes my presentation.